channel. Hope you've all had a wonderful day. So today's video is my new way of choosing what books to read each month. So as you can see, I have a lot of books behind me. I actually have 299 that I haven't read. That's a lot. So I wanted to come up with a fun way to choose my TBR, or to be read, without delving into lots of different readathons, in the hope that fulfilling prompts and things will, you know, help me lower my amount. So what I have come up with is a book lucky dip. So I went through all the genres on my shelves, and I wrote down every book that goes into a different genre. So each bag has a different genre written on it. I will go through them in a second. And then the idea is that I will pick one choice out of 5 bags. So those bags can be any bags I choose, and they can differ each month, but it will only be 5 books. I do have another series that I believe I am starting soon with Nikki. Otherwise I would be picking from the series starter bag. So the series starter has the first book in each of the series that I own. So with this bag, I would only pick one out of it each time I don't have a series on the go. So for example, I'll do this one because it's in shot and you can see it. This is the Darkest Mercy series, or Wicked Lovely series, by Melissa Marr. So the Wicked Lovely book would be in here. I would pick this out 1 month, and then there are 5 books to read. So that series would carry on for as long as it takes me to read those 5 books. Whether it takes me 5 months because I only read 1 a month, or whether it only takes me a couple because I finished the other 4, the other 5 books, and then I go on to read one of those. I hope that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. So yeah, basically that's the idea behind it. But I think I am starting a new series with Nikki, either this month or next month. So I am going to pop the series starters bag over there. Now the other series, or the other genre bags that I have are horror, suspense and thriller. So there's not really too many in this bag. Next up is random or all other genres. So these I kind of put in autobiographies or standalones that I weren't sure what category they fitted into, or kind of like compilation books. So for example, Call the Midwife, there was like the Life and Times book of Call the Midwife, so I put that in this bag. Next up are my contemporaries. Yeah, look at that. There is a lot. So yeah, my contemporary bag is kind of anything day to day, a little bit chick litty, that kind of genre. Dropped one. Next up is detective and mystery. So anything sort of obviously with a mystery or a crime to be investigated by a detective, they are in here. Now I have the Vera books and the Midsummer Murders books, which don't necessarily have to be read in order, but they do have little underlying points about the main characters that may come up in each book if I was to read them in order. So in this bag there are things like just Vera or Midsummer Murders, and then each time I got one of those I would just read the next one down in that series, I suppose. They kind of count as a series, but I'm not counting them as a series because they technically don't have to be read together. I just want to. And then next up we have fantasy, which actually isn't as big a bag as I was expecting, because a lot of the books I have on my fantasy shelves are actually part of a series. So yeah, that's where these would obviously come in, but as I said, those will only be opened if I don't already have a series on the go. And then finally, I have my little classics bag. There's only a few in here because I find classics really, really hard to read. So yeah, each month I am going to choose 5 bags and pick out 5 choices from each bag. So there will only be a TBR of 5 books per month. Obviously, if I have a series on the go, or if I do start a new series, that will make 6 books. Now, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to read because I'm going back to work full-time now. By the time you guys see this, I will be back at work full-time. So if I don't read them, then they will carry over onto the following month. So some months there might be more than 6 books on the go. Also, if I am buddy reading one with Nikki, that will add as an extra book. So yeah, that is kind of how it's going to work. So I figured I am going to pick 1 fantasy book, 2 contemporaries, because this bag is huge. What's this one? I'm going to go random and all other genre, but these have some chunky books in. So I'm a little bit scared about some of the choices that may be in there. So that's 4. And then I am going to pick one from the horror, suspense and thriller bag. So yeah, I'm excited, but also a little bit scared. Okay, let's go for fantasy first and see what we get. I'm scared. Okay, I've got one. It is Liz Braswell's A Whole New World. So that is one of the Disney Twisted Tales books. It is, if I can get it, it is here. This is quite a chunky one of 350 pages, not too bad. So this is obviously an Aladdin Twisted Tale, and it just says, discover what would have happened if Aladdin had never found the lamp. Aladdin is a street rat just trying to survive in a harsh city, while Jasmine is a beautiful princess about to enter an arranged marriage. Their worlds collide when the Sultan's trusted advisor suddenly rises to power and, with the help of a mysterious lamp, attempts to gain control over love and death. Together, Aladdin and Jasmine must unite to stop power-hungry Jafar tearing the kingdom apart, in this story of love, power, and one moment that changes everything. I haven't read any of these yet, so I am excited to get this one. So we will pop that there. Fantasy, I'm going to shut the fantasy bag because we don't now need it. I'll pop that over there. I'm going to do my little paper choice there. Horror, suspense, and thriller. This one I have no idea about, so there could be anything going on in here. Okay, it is Gail Goodwin's Grief Cottage. It's down here. Can I get it? Who knows? This is quite handy, being able to sit here and pull out books. Ugh. Now this one I believe is an ARC. Yeah. An advanced reading copy. I picked this up at Book Fair, but it says, the haunting tale of a desolate cottage and the fragile threshold where this life meets the next. After his mother's death, 11-year-old Marcus is sent to live on a small South Carolina island with his great aunt Charlotte, a reclusive painter with a haunted past. Tourists like to buy Charlotte's portraits of the empty beach cottage nearby, enchanted by its rustic desolation. The islanders call it Grief Cottage because a boy and his parents disappeared from it during a hurricane 50 years before. Their bodies were never found. During his lonely hours while Aunt Charlotte is in the studio painting and keeping her demons at bay, Marcus visits the cottage daily, building up his courage by coming even closer, even after the ghost of a boy who died seems to reveal himself. Full of curiosity and open to the unfamiliar given the recent upending of his life, he courts the ghost boy, unsure whether he is friendly or follows some sinister agenda. So yeah, I'm excited to give this one a go. It has been on my shelf for a little while. It's not actually that long a book, even though it's a big book. There's, 320 pages. So about the same size as A Whole New World. So that is choice 2. Let's pop that paper up there. Was that horror, suspense and thriller? Yeah, it was. Then random and all other genres. Now this one can go many ways for me because there is a 600-page book in this bag and I'm hoping I haven't just picked it out. No, I did. Okay. So this one is a historical fiction, and it's A King's Ransom by Sharon Penman. Can't get it out, it's so big. Okay, no pun intended. So yeah, this is it. It's huge. I'm scared. Okay, it's actually more than 500 pages. It's 870 pages. 870 pages! Okay, so this one might be one that I am reading for a long time. So it says, travelling home from the bloody battlefields of the Holy Land, the Crusader King, Richard the Lionheart, is shipwrecked in the Mediterranean after an encounter with pirates. He should be protected by a papal degree, but he is betrayed and captured, ending up in the clutches of the Holy Roman Empire, who bears him a better grudge. Richard is to spend 15 months imprisoned, some of it in the notorious fortress at Trefils, where few men have ever left. Meanwhile, his mother, Eleanor of Aquitaine, is moving heaven and earth to raise a staggering ransom, travelling across Europe to buy the release of her favourite son. But her determination may not be enough. At the 11th hour, the Emperor announces that he has a better offer from the French King Philippe and Richard's own treacherous brother John. They will pay an even larger sum to continue Richard's captivity or to turn him over to their tender mercies. Now, it sounds fabulous. Am I terrified? Yes. Absolutely terrified of how big this book is. But it was only 50p. So yeah, we're going to give that one a go, maybe. This one might end up being one that continues over a few months because it's massive. Thanks, random all other genres bag. And then next up we have the contemporary bag, so there will be 2 choices from here. Now there are a couple of books that do kind of join together, like the Lara Jean ones. I have book 1 and 2, so if book 2 comes out I will obviously read book 1 and vice versa. I have 1. Sorry, I'm not showing you the bag. And then book 2. Put the bag over there. So book 1 is... Oh, okay. John Green's An Abundance of Catherines. Now, I've read a couple of books by John Green and they've been okay. Sorry, I'm going to have to move my chair to get to it. Here we go. So yeah, it says 19 Catherines and counting. When it comes to relationships, Colin Singleton's type is girls named Catherine. And when it comes to girls named Catherine, Colin is always getting dumped. 19 times to be exact. On a road trip miles from home, this anagram-happy, washed-up child prodigy has $10,000 in his pocket, a bloodthirsty feral hog on his trail, and an overweight Judge Judy loving best friend riding shotgun. But no Catherines. Colin is on a mission to prove the theorem of underlying Catherine predictability, which he hopes will predict the future of any relationship, avenge dumpies everywhere, and finally win him the girl. So yeah, it sounds pretty good. And it's only... Where are we? It's got a chapter of The Fault in Our Stars at the back, which is always nice. I like to see a chapter of a different book at the back of someone's book. Oh, for goodness sake. There are 200 255 pages. So a fairly short book in comparison to the other ones I've obviously picked. But yeah, I'm excited to get to that one actually. And then finally we have Nicholas Sparks' Safe Haven, which I believe is in one of two places. Oh no, it's here. We're all good. Now, I went on a bit of a spree of collecting Nicholas Sparks books after watching some of the great films that came from it. The Notebook, A Walk to Remember, Dear John. There's another one as well, but I forgot it. And I think I have actually seen this film. Yes, I have. I have seen this one. It's a great film, which is why I went on a spree of buying his books. Now, I didn't buy any of them brand new. I bought them all second hand, and I haven't read any of them, and they've been on my shelf for absolute donkeys. So, yeah. This one says, "Love hurts. There is nothing as painful as heartbreak. But in order to learn to love again, you must learn to trust again. When a mysterious young woman named Katie appears in the small town of Southport, her sudden arrival raises questions about her past. Beautiful yet unassuming, Katie is determined to avoid forming personal ties until a series of events draws her into two reluctant relationships. Despite her reservations, Katie slowly begins to lower her guard, putting down roots in the close-knit community. But even as Katie starts to fall in love, she struggles with the dark secret that still haunts her." It's a great film, and when you find out what it is, it's awesome. So yeah, I'm excited to give all of these a go. I'm definitely pooping my pants about this one. These two I think are going to be quite an easy read along with this one, provided it gets me in the first couple of chapters. Otherwise, I think a mystery is going to be a little bit tough. This one I'm not sure about. I did try and read another one of these, a different one last month, and I really just couldn't get into it. So, wish me luck. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this new way of choosing my TBR. I'm doing my thumb now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this new way of me choosing my TBR. I'm actually quite surprised that I'm okay with the books that have come out. I was worried I was going to get some real poopers. Other than The King's Ransom, I was scared I was going to get some that I really wasn't excited to read. But yeah, it's been a good pick. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've read any of these, let me know what you thought without spoilers in the comment section down below. Take care, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.